Well, this is the test that everybody is waiting for. We've got the Hubsan Zino, and then we've got the Mi drone. Now it's very windy today, so I'm going to be very careful. The Mi drone obviously has got the sensors underneath, so I'm not so bothered about that in the wind, but this guy is going to get knocked around. So let's take the controller of the Mi drone and let's turn it around and see if we can see the Zino. You can see how much the Zino is getting pushed around. In fact, I need to lift the throttle up a little bit, I think. Right, so let's compare the cameras. I'm gonna take the Mi up. Let me make sure I've got the exposure level correct. We want 0, and then let's go up, see if I can get some footage of the estate, but I don't want to go too high. Just because of that wind. But for the moment, they are both holding their position. Oh, looks like the sun might have a very, very short appearance. The problem is as well with both of these being on 2.4, I've got to be very careful that they don't knock each other out signal wise. So we have them both pointed at around about the same point. There we go. I've got them in shot there. I've got the Zino in shot, and we are looking down at the Mi, but we're only 31 meters up because I don't want that wind to blow them away. The sun is very low on the horizon. I'm just going to tilt the gimbal down on the Zino and let's just see if we can have a look at the Mi drone. Don't want to get too close because none of these copters have object avoidance. So I'm kind of more sort of line of sight in it, really. You can see I'm getting the flicker of light on the Zino. I've asked Hubsan about that, and they say that it could be a firmware fix. Hubsan, by the way, they have changed the app so that you can do 1080 now and 720p and things like that. So if you are interested, here are some of the new options that are going to be implemented into the Zino. Now, at the making of this video, if I try to use them, then I get a error message and it says please update the aircraft. And I believe that in a few days time you can go on the Hubsan website and you will have to update the Copters firmware, which I would imagine would be through the USB of the Copter, but that is just a guess. If I disconnect the phone from the Copter, then I should be able to go into these settings, and you can see here that we have got the option for video resolution. We've got 4K, 2.7K, 1080p and 720p. Then if I go back, we've got frame rate, and we've got 60 FPS and 30 FPS. Now, at the making of this video, because I can't test it, I don't think 4K is going to do 60 FPS. I imagine that's just going to be for the lower resolutions, and I don't know if that's going to work with 2.7 either. Probably 1080, I would say. Then we've got white balance here, so automatic, sunny day and cloudy day. And then we've got some color options here as well: ordinary, black and white, bright and nostalgic. And then video format just says MP4, but I can't click that, but I imagine it's probably gonna be MOV. Then we've got a settings option next to the camera icon, and if we go in here, we've got ISO options. You can see we've got automatic and manual, and then exposure, automatic and manual. We've got grid lines, which is just going to put grid lines on the FPV feed. Some people like to use it because you can find the center of the shot, and then you can format the SD card here and also reset all of the parameters. So yeah, when that comes into place, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? And I think some of those features may be better than the Mi drone, but we will have to see when it is released properly. Let's get a little bit of high on with the Zino, and let's take a look at the estate. But it's the Zino that I'm most worried about, with it not having all of those sensors, and it's very windy, so I'm very conscious of it being up there on its own. You can see that we've got the Mi drone, and it just sits there and doesn't move. But let's just have a look around here, and let's see what the gimbal does. Looks pretty level at the moment, I have to say. It looks dark though, so what I want to do is just check that I haven't accidentally hit the exposure value. No, it's at 0 there. So let's take up the Mi and let's try and get a similar shot of the estate so that we can compare the cameras. I don't want to get them too close, of course, but let's take a look. It's looking pretty dark because of the sun. Let's have a look. So height 24 meters on the Zino, and yeah, I just want to make sure that, you know, they're not going to hit each other really. Let's see if I can get one of the other in shot without them hitting. Seems like the wind has calmed down a bit. So hopefully, you know, this should give you an idea. I keep hitting the exposure value because it's on a slider on the Mi drone. It's actually quite useful with it going dark though. I'm gonna yaw around and see if I can see one of the other, but I can't. Can I look up? No. I'll look down so I can only guess that the Zino is a little bit higher. Oh no, there we go. We're in shot, look at that. I don't want to get too close. You see with the DJI models, I can take them up to the maximum height and not worry because I know they're not going to hit each other. Not the case with these guys. But that Zino, you can see it's moving around a little bit. So I don't want a gust of wind blowing it into the Mi drone. But what I want, yeah, they're getting a little bit close, but we're at different heights. So what I want to do now is let's just have a pan around here. Compass interfered. Please be careful. Yeah, look how dark that is on the Mi drone. I wonder if lifting it up is going to help. Might hinder the quality a little bit. Well, let's get some height up. Don't want to go too high. But what I want to do is get similar shots, you see. Now it's difficult around here because the horizon isn't level anyways because it's hilly. There's a big hill there. That's where the sun is there, and we've got the estate. But you know, this one keeps its gimbal pretty level, I have to say. But I'm getting compass interfered errors still, which is what I got when I originally reviewed it. Okay, let's get brave with the Zino. I'm gonna keep it line of sight though, because it does drift, and I think what we might find is as we get higher and you know the winds are stronger up there, we might find that the footage isn't quite as stable. I think my oh, I'm getting not connected signs on the Zino. I hope it's returning home. Please come back. So while that man is worrying about what's happening with the Zino, I thought I'd take this opportunity to show some features of the Mi that you might not take into consideration, but I think are actually brilliant. And you have to remember, this guy is cheaper as well. The first one is the fact that the motors are metal, and spoiler alert, the Zino did come back. It was actually the phone that locked up. It's an old phone, and I was screen recording and I was asking too much of it. I still had control and I got it back. But the bell of the motor here, it is plastic, but I guess they've done that to save some money. Another thing that is brilliant is the way that the props come off. You just turn it here and they just pop off, whereas of course with the Zino it doesn't really matter because it folds, but You know, I thought that was a really nice touch. And you've got the colors here to tell you which prop goes where. But even though this is quite a big drone, it does fold down. We have got these here on the side, and if you move them, then these lift up to the side, and of course the gimbal comes off. So with the props off, it's actually not a huge, you know, footprint. It looks like it is when it's flying, but actually it folds down quite nicely, and it is my favorite. The battery also has an indicator on it, so you know how full it is, and the Zino does not. Anyways, back to the man that is having a heart attack. Okay, we got signal back, but that was a little bit worrying with the Zino there, because it did start to drift. So I'm also gonna bring the Mi down, I think. Hopefully I got enough video to compare the two. I have a feeling that the Mi drone is going to be more crisp. Let's see if I can point the gimbal down and see if I can see us. Yeah, sadly the iPhone's recorder stopped recording as well. I just wonder if it wasn't the Zino's fault and my phone just doesn't have the power to deal with it. But we've got both of them here now. I feel a bit safer when they are lower down. I think the field of view on the Mi is much wider because it looks like they're really close there, line of sight, but actually on the picture it looks far away. What about on the Zino? Can I still move the gimbal? Can I see the copter? Yeah, there it is. Look. Right, so I'm at 40% battery on the Zino and 45 on the Mi. I think, yeah, I think I need to bring these guys down. Bit scary when the Zino lost its connection there. Let me see if I can land on this pad. Trying to disarm it there. Stop the video. 14 minutes. Okie doke. Let's turn him off. And then move him out of the way so that we can fly around with the Mi. yeah, that stability is just amazing, and for the price, absolutely stunning. Just move the gimbal around, just have a look, see if it's staying level. Seems to be. And of course there are other things about the Mi as well, such as the gimbal is detachable and you can use it as a handheld thing. And the flight time is about the same with both of these two though. I think the Mi's app is more refined. Video looks really smooth on the app. But yeah, I love this. And you know, one thing about the Mi as well, which is better than the Hubsan, that is the controller. They are proper gimbals, they are not Xbox toy ones. And that means that you can do smoother maneuvers. In fact, when I did my original review of the Mi 4K, we got some great footage with the Phantom, and we did some pirouetting, and it was fantastic. Anyways, it's going dark here now. It's, you know, it's about, what time is it? Maybe 3:30 or something. That's what happens these days. So yeah, we'll start to lose the light. So let's see if I can bring it in for a landing. Oh, a little bit rough there. Disarm. There we go. Stop the video. So there you go. That is the Hubsan Zino and the Mi 4K at the same time. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer, and I'll also link to both of them if you wish to buy one. So as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.